Hey everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, and today we're going to be tackling the DLC. Now, like I said in the last video, which I know was kind of long, being roughly around 40 something minutes, I know, I do apologize for that. But anyways, we're going to be doing the DLC. Now, the first thing you want to do is head to the hidden chamber in the Black Gulch. Okay. Now, one thing I should say is you should make sure that you have the Dragon Talon and the other two DLC items before we even attempt to do this or try and do this. Or, I mean, go to the DLC. Otherwise, you won't be able to. Now, as of right now, I have, in my guides, shown you how to get all of the keys needed to reach the DLC. But now I'm going to show you where exactly you have to go to get to there. Simply just come and touch this altar. Alright, now this is the first of the DLC. The Crown of the Sunken King. Now, like I've stated before, the DLC is not going to take long at all because there's actually not a lot that you really have to do in the DLC in terms of, you know, getting things. But anyways, the first things that we're going to do, once we get there, of course, come on, make it. Alright, now then, now that we're here, like always, I'm always just gonna go through, clear out everything. But alright, I'll be back. Okay, and we're finally back. This actually took me a little bit longer than expected, but anyways, I'm just gonna show you how to get the items that you need for the Platinum Trophy. So simply just follow the path I take. Simply just follow along, and yeah. Drop down here, turn around this way, come this way, take these stairs. Now, I recommend buying a lot of fire bombs from Malentia if you don't have a great bow and destructive great bow arrows, because that'll allow you to come over here, and if you aim just right, you'd be able to hit that switch, which will then raise this elevator up. Don't worry about getting poisoned. Now the item we want to grab is right here, Promised Walk of Peace. So anyways, following the path I take, if you want to get to the next bonfire, I'll show you how. Simply go back the way you came and hit this switch right here. And then simply get on this. And here we have our next bonfire. Okay, so from this bonfire, if you follow the path I take, we'll get our next item. Simply just come around to the side over here and grab this sorcery. Now, we only have two things left to grab here in the DLC before we're done. Now, once again, I've already gone through and cleared all the enemies, so it's probably best if you simply pause and wait between certain areas before following the path I take, because there will be a lot of enemies you'll have to fight along this way. But anyways, just follow down this way. If you want a weapon, simply run over here, but we're not, and we're just going to carry on. So in this area, what you have to do after you've gone through and destroyed everything and killed all the enemies, you'll have to specifically learn how to open up this door right here, which is pretty easy from up top. But here we're going to get denial. So anyways, if you want to hit this switch here, that'll open up this door right here for a key. But carrying on, if we come down here, and then just, like I said, just keep following the path, you will get invaded right here by Jester Thomas. He'll be right here. But anyways, carrying on, if we come out over this way, run past these creatures, back this way, we'll get another bonfire. Now then from here, just gonna make our way around this way. And up this way. If you come up the stairs and use that key that I said you should get behind that door that we unlocked, that'll open up the bridge right there. And now if you hit this switch right here, that'll allow you to use the elevator. These are some slow elevators. Once again, head over here and use this elevator again, because we're basically just going to make a giant circle as of right now. Now then, head out this door and just curve back around and up, and as you'll see, we've made a full circle. I know, right? Really surprising. Woo. Okay, so now if we head to the second bonfire, we can make this easier. Okay, so from here, I do recommend completely going through and just clearing out the whole map, just thoroughly exploring it, or if you would like a specific guide of a detailed walkthrough, I can give you one. But anyways, if we just follow the path I take, you will eventually also get a key for this door right here. And what you want to do is simply just run through it, if you can. And climb up this set of stairs. Now if we take this right, you will get invaded here. Simply just light this bonfire in case you end up getting killed. And then rest. Okay, so anyways, guys, now from that bonfire, if you just follow this path, drop down here, and summon these two NPCs to help you out. This will make this 1,000 times easier. I also recommend getting your shield out. But anyways, if we drop down right here, and head off this way, and then drop down here, simply just try and run your way through most of these enemies. And go in here, and we can start this gank fight. As you can see, I've already died to them once. And once you've killed them, you can make your way past. If you want to grab this unique clothing item, you can. Anyways, drop down here, and then follow this path around. And that is the last item that we have to grab for this DLC, so I'm just going to Aged Feather out, and we'll head to the next DLC. Okay, so heading to the Ruined Fork Road bonfire. I know we've headed there one too many times for this playthrough, but we're gonna head back there one last time. Okay, so anyways, from here what you want to do is go as if you're gonna go to Drang Lake Castle. So simply follow the path I take. Now then, if you lure that enemy out and simply run past all of them, you're good to go. Now then head up here and touch this. And this is the third DLC. So anyways, what we're going to do and yeah, once again open up another ultra big door. Okay, and now same as always guys, I'm just going to go clear the entire map of everything, and yeah, now once again in this DLC there's 4 items that we need to get. 3 of them are actual, one's a sorcery, one's a miracle, and one's a hex, and the last item is actually an item that will increase our item discovery and it'll be very helpful. But yeah, I'll be back. Alright, and we're back. This one definitely was more frustrating than I intended it to be, but anyways, as we're going on from this first bonfire here, what you want to do is simply just follow the path I take and take a right. Now following this path around and down these stairs here and through this area right here, which is obstructed and you can't access it until a little bit later, which I will also show you how we're going to grab the first of the 4 items that we need to get from the DLC, Soul Flash. Now if you want a complete set, head up the ladder there. But anyways, carrying on from there, if we head across and down this way, now if we just keep following the path like so, Eventually you'll come to this little area up here. And then we just enter right here. Now, instead of going through that door right here, swing a left and follow the path I take. Now, if you take a right here, drop down, here's the second bonfire. Now then, if we follow this path and follow this around, and now if we come right up here in between these two little areas and then immediately hang a right and then take another right here and come up here, we'll get another hex. Now then follow the stairs up and around. And follow here. Now once again, just keep following the stairs all the way around. I know, it's very annoying. Now take this left path. Now right here is how you unblock that path from earlier to get the sorcery. And carrying on, we head over here to our right. Now before you actually grab a certain item, you can still climb up this ladder, but it will be invisible. So if you want to do that, you can on your first run through part right here. Okay. Now pick up a new miracle called Splintering Lightning Spear. Anyways, head back down the ladder. And now then we'll just continue on. Heading down the path here. And this will eventually lead to a third bonfire. Now, I'm pretty sure you're wondering by now, alright, we've already got all three of the items that we need. What's the fourth item that you said will increase our item discovery? Well, see, in order to get that, we first have to fight one boss. Which I know is very annoying, but anyways, if you come up here and pick up the item off of this, this allows you to see things that are normally invisible, or, you know, enemies that are kind of hidden. Kind of like the enemies in the Shaded Woods. You will now be able to actually see them with that item. But anyways, carrying on. Come around here. Here's our third bonfire. Now anyways, we're actually going to go and fight that boss real quick, so simply just fast travel back to the first bonfire and we'll be on our way. Okay, so from here what you want to do is run and summon Masterless Glencore and come over here, and now we can go to the left. And now we can summon as well Steelheart Ellie. Now for this boss I recommend just keeping some repair powder on hand, or having a couple weapons on hand that you can switch to. Because you'll see why. If you happen to watch my the durability on my weapon during this fight, you'll see just how bad it is. Alright, and he's done. Oh man. That's annoying to have to deal with. Anyways, if we come up here, and we'll talk to someone. anyways, making your way in here, this will be the 4th out of 5 bonfires that we're gonna get. We're not gonna get the 5th one. I don't know why I said it. But anyways, if we come up here, once again, opening another door. Now then, if we simply talk to this lady, Asana, and you answer yes to her question, she'll get rid of the ice and everything around the map. Now, the reason why we fight this boss and everything is because one of the items that we need to get to increase our item discovery is trapped in ice, which we will now go and get at the 3rd bonfire. Okay, so now here in the in this area here, as you'll notice, all these spellcasters and stuff are actually going to be quite annoying to try and fight. Now, as you also noticed, that golem was woken up, and these guys can be quite annoying. Alright, that's one giant down. Now, one thing I should mention though about these giants is you actually can kill them while they're not animated or haven't absorbed a soul, which is the best way to try and deal with them. But anyways, like I'm going to demonstrate here, I'm simply just going to take this dude out of the way because I don't want him to become a problem. But in the case of doing that, I have now awoken a mimic for a symbol of avarice, which is actually the item that we wanted. And this is what it looks like. Sweet, right? I know. Anyways, now we can leave the 2nd DLC and head to the 3rd. And the best way to do that is simply head to the idol symbol, or idol bonfire. Alright everybody, so here in the Iron Keep, once again, if we just act like we're going to fight the old Iron King, we can easily just make our way to where the 2nd DLC is. Now, for anyone who's wondering why I'm doing the 2nd DLC last, it's because we actually have to do way more in it than on the other 2. But anyways, just, you know, just make your way. Simple as that. Anyways, run past the bonfire back here to this little area, and then touch the altar. Okay, now simply run up here. Now, there's going to be a few things that I'm going to say that we have to do in this DLC, and once again, there's 4 items that we have to get but surprisingly, one of them requires actually a lot of work. And I'll be talking about that here in a bit. But anyways, this is supposed to be the second DLC that we're doing third. Anyways, if we come over here, we pick up 6 smelter wedges. Now, if you haven't played this DLC or are wondering what the hell those are used for, I'll also demonstrate that as well. Okay, here's our first bonfire. Okay, so from this bonfire, if you run up this way, you'll notice this creature that comes out. And this is called a ashen idol. If you simply wait a bit and then use a smelter wedge on it, you'll eventually get Soul of Nadalia, Bride of Ash. Now that is just one fragment. That is one of the things that we need to do in order to get one of the items, is we need to get all 12 of those, which sounds really annoying. But anyways, follow the path that I take, and just run around if you really want to. If you want to fight the enemies, you can, you know, like always. Anyways, in here, if we drop down twice. Now if you come over here, don't slide down the ladder just yet. If you just come right here, open up this chest, we'll get a Titanite slab. And then if we come down here, and slide down, and head into this room right here, simply just take out the 2 enemies. Okay, we can now get a new pyromancy called Dance of Fire. And now here we've got the second Ashen Idol. As you can see, it's going pretty good. Pick up our second soul. Simply just kill any minor enemies here. That way we ensure our safety. Now head through this door here over on the left. Now if you want to head down to the left, there's a secret area beneath me if you just spam the action key, which is X on PlayStation and I think it's A on Xbox, I'm not sure on that. But anyways, carrying through here, if you just run past all these enemies, you'll be fine. Or not, like that. That's all that'll happen if they explode. They'll deal a significant amount of damage to you. But anyways, just keep running around. Or for some unknown reason. Anyways, just slide down the not the elevator, the ladder here. If you want to drop down here and simply run past these enemies, you can. And here's our second bonfire. Okay, so here, just following along. Now if we drop down here, okay, we come over here to the right, follow the path around. Now, if you simply just let these guys kind of drop down, I guess you could say, you can lure them over to that, as you can see right there. Come on, just go on. Go on. Now, what you want to do right here is simply just kind of slide down or reach a certain point. That way it'll aggro the enemies. Now, if anyone who has a bow, you know, then use that to your advantage, I guess. And okay, now that all the enemies, well, except for one, are dead, just simply kill him. We don't have to worry about that dude. Simply just come here, use a smelter wedge. That's our third one. Okay. Now then, this next area you can just completely run through. You don't have to fight any of the enemies. Okay. That was a pretty weird fall, but it's still pretty good. Now through here and down, if we head over to the right, fall around here, and we'll have our third bonfire. Okay, so from here what you want to do is simply come this way, drop down, and he's down. That was annoying. That was really annoying. I'm gonna heal up here. Now then, making our way over to the right, across the giant chain. You'd figure there'd be different ways of reaching these places, but I guess not. Now then, in this area, there are enemies, as you'll see right here, which you can set on fire, who will then explode like so. Come on now. There we go. For some reason, these fat dudes have some range. Okay. Now here you're gonna get invaded. Boom. Now here. Okay, anyways, now that she's dead, simply just come over here to this back door. It's the second one behind you. And we'll get a new hex called Recollection. Be careful of this enemy in the back. Okay. Now then, if we run over here, we can just carry on here and down the ladder. Now through these doors you kind of want to be a little careful, but if you can do it right, you can simply just run in. And then immediately try and run out and just return to the bonfire you last rested at. Okay, so from here what you want to do is simply use the Scorching Scepter that we just got, which will activate the elevators and stuff in this area. So I'm just going to simply do this. Okay. So what we want to do first is simply ride this down. Because there's a specific key that we're going to get. So over here. So simply just kind of run through and grab the key here, and you can simply just make your way back. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to unlock the fourth bonfire by simply just coming around here and taking this one that goes down. Simply just make your way over here. Now in this area what I recommend doing is killing every single enemy before you drop down. So kill the enemies, drop down, kill the enemy, you know, drop down. Pretty simple stuff really. There shouldn't be anything too hard. There should be like 2 of them twice that you'll have to worry about, like so. But once again, not too hard. Don't walk on those parts right there. Simply walk on, just fall down the paths that I'm taking, just to ensure that you don't have any kind of problems. So once you can drop down, there's nothing here. This one has 2 of them. So if you're kind of feeling a little overwhelmed, just come over here. Now sadly that one enemy dropping down there is going to be a bit of a problem, but if you come over here you can drop down onto a ledge. And okay, now that the big dude's down, we can continue on. Those guys are just so annoying. Anyways, in this area just run past the enemies because they'll just keep respawning. Anyways, just keep running, following the path I take, and we'll come to this elevator here. Okay. So in this area, what you simply want to do for our next bonfire is simply run across as if you're going to go and fight the boss, and then hug this wall. Now, okay, we have 3 smelter wedges, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use at least 2 of them on this side here, because there's 4 of these ashen idols in this area. So just do that, hug the wall, And you should see that area behind me right there. Okay, so as you can see, this is our 4th bonfire. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go get some smelter wedges and also get another bonfire. And how we're going to do that is by going to the 3rd bonfire again. Okay, so from this bonfire, what you want to do is simply head around here, following the path I take, getting on the elevator. Now that door that I ran past that's open, we'll head back to that later. But simply ride up the elevator right here. And then ride up this elevator. And then we're gonna head to the right instead of going to the left. Okay. Simply just, patiently follow this around or wait and run through. Now, one thing I recommend doing first is simply coming through here and riling up the enemies a little. And then if you want to try and just lure the enemies through the fire so they'll just kill themselves, you can. Now, once again, most Dark Souls games, if you're not feeling like things are going too well, you can always just fall back. There's no rush. But anyways, once you feel safe enough to try and continue, just head up. If there's no more enemies, that's great. That's how it should be. But anyways, in this chest here off to the left is 4 more smelter wedges, which is pretty good. That'll put us at 6. So if we drop down here, we could then wait for the elevator. Sadly, we missed the 2nd elevator. But anyways, up this elevator is the 5th and final bonfire for this area. Not too much trouble, honestly. My bad, it's 5, not 6 smelter wedges. Anyways, up here, there's an ashen idol that we're gonna have to take out. Okay, now that all the prowlers are dead, for some reason they thought that getting invaded means that 5 people can invade you. But anyways, after killing all of them and destroying the ashen idol, we can make our way up the stairs here. And this is the 5th bonfire. Now then, what we're gonna do is go down to the 4th one and deal with that. Okay, now for this boss, I definitely recommend doing this by yourself. Because, if you want to try this a few times with summons, you can, because there's 2 summons here. But I recommend not doing that at all. Just trying to do it by yourself will go a lot faster. You'll constantly have aggro. That way you'll know when to dodge and what to dodge. And not possibly get hit, because he can deal a lot of damage to you, and it hurts. So once again, hug the wall and come over here and take out these final 2 ashen idols down here. Okay, so that'll put us at 8. Oh. Missed one. There we go. Okay. So the best way I can describe this boss is just think of the smelter demon, except kind of like harder. So for this boss... Okay, finally beat him. This dude is a pain, man. He's such a pain. But anyways, from here we can simply just get the crown of the old Iron King. Okay, so now what we can simply do is go back to the bonfire, and we're going to go to the third bonfire and go to that area that I said we'll come back to later, the door that I opened. And yeah. Okay, so from here, we're just... This first area, the first time you run down here, it's basically just going to be a suicide run. Simply just run past the enemies and in here. And use your smelter wedge. As you can see from all the enemies that are just rushing in here, I'm kind of screwed. And that's completely okay, because now we can simply just deal with the enemies one at a time while they're not being buffed and while we're not being cursed. So yeah. Okay, now that there's only 2 enemies left. Now then in here we can get the soul that we need. So that's... Okay, so yeah, there's 12 in total. There's only one thing left we have to do, really, after we get this new pyromancy over here. And that is to first go kill one more boss, and then get the final 2 Ashen Idols. So yeah, there's that. Woohoo! So much fun. I'm just gonna come and rest here. Hey everybody, and alright, so what you want to do is from here, as you can see we still have 1 left. Now if we head, not that way, if we head the way we came, which is over here, we're going to get our 11th piece of the Soul of Nadalia. And that's by coming back here. And then coming around here, down these stairs. And across over here. Now you will get invaded by Maldron the Assassin. But we can just run past him for the time being. Now if you simply just run all the way down, simply use it right here. We'll have our 11th soul, and we can just run back out, hopefully. Alright, now that we can just run all the way back. As you can see, Maldron's just chilling over there, and we can just run back. Now, as of right now, we only have 2 things left to do. We have 1 more boss to fight, and then we have 1 more Soul of Nadalia to get. Now, both of those are honestly pretty easy to do. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come back and rest, or just kind of die over here, as you could say. That way I'm just right by the bonfire, since Maldron's here. Alright. Okay, so anyways, from here what you simply want to do is just travel to the 5th bonfire so we can fight our next boss. Now, as you can see, the armor is actually glowing, which is a good thing. That's how we know that we can actually go and fight the boss. Now, this is once again like a memory, so all you simply do is go up to it and interact. Okay, so in this area you can summon 2 phantoms. And just like I recommend doing in a majority of the areas, sometimes it's just kind of running through, because most of these enemies you can avoid. Sometimes you can't. Okay. Continue making your way along here. As you can see, I did die. As you can see, I'm barely gonna make it to this boss. Now, once you do reach a certain point, the enemies will stop coming after you. Now, if you have a way to buff your weapon, then by all means equip it. But anyways, I'm gonna just come in here and enter the boss fight. That way my summons will come here with me. Okay, and that was Sir Alon, or Sir Alon. Sorry if I pronounced or butchered that name wrong. Okay, so after you fight him, come and examine the chair, and we'll get our last final smelter wedge, which I'll show you how to get now. I mean, how to get the soul. Okay, so back to the 3rd bonfire we go! Okay, so anyways, from the 3rd bonfire, if we come over here... Oh, I didn't make it. It's alright. As you can see, we have 11 out of 12. We're so close, guys. Now, I recommend not spending any of that 72,000 souls that we just got. And for good reason. Okay, so what we want to do is simply ride this elevator all the way up. And then follow the path around. And we're going over to that area there. So if we just drop down here. Now this mission, what you have, well this, not mission. For this part what you want to do is try and lure this giant dude back over towards here. And then simply open this door. Now if you want to try and lure him back over here again, you can. It's probably the best thing to do to ensure that you can actually get out of here. Now simply just come in here and use the final smelter wedge. This is not a good spot. Now let's see if I can get the aged feather. Okay, we're good to go. Now, as you can see right here, Soul of Nadalia, the true soul. Now, the last thing we have to do regarding the DLC is let's head back to Strayed and trade our final soul to him. For at least this run, or this first playthrough. Alright, so once again, talk to Strayed, go and trade, and use the Soul of Nadalia to get Outcry. Now that is it, everybody. This has been all 3 of the DLC for Dark Souls 2 or Scholar the First Sin Edition. Trust me, that was more painful for me than I'm pretty sure it might be for you. I will say to be a little bit higher level than I am, or just have, you know, some patience when trying to go through the levels and get everything from these guides. But yeah, like always, I hope these guides are helpful, or at least make your lives easier in knowing what you need to get in order to get the Platinum Trophy. But anyways, next time we only have a few things left to do. In all honesty, it's just 3 things left, and then you have the Platinum Trophy. I never thought this day would come. But yeah, alright, I'll see you guys later.